So welcome to the Courageous Nerd YouTube channel. My name's Connor. I'm joined today by Riley Stearns. Riley, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, yeah. And obviously, we're talking today about your film Duel, which is coming out on April 15th. That's still in the future as of when we're recording this. But I suppose, like, what kind of made, you're the writer and the director, but what made this a story you wanted to tell?
Yeah, I mean, the simple answer is that initially I wanted to just have an actor perform opposite themselves. And the idea pretty early on came to me that in an alternate reality, if you knew you were going to die, you could have the opportunity to have yourself cloned, and that would be so that your family wouldn't have to miss you. But I knew that that wasn't enough. I knew that there needed to be maybe something else there to make it worth a path for me to go down. And I asked the question one day, what would happen if you went into remission? And for some reason, the obvious answer was immediately, well, of course, you'd have to duel your clone to the death. And that became the movie. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I think Karen Gillan was like an inspired choice for that character, because it's not necessarily like, I mean, if you read the character on the page, you wouldn't necessarily connect her to it straight away. But I suppose what made her like your choice to play Sarah?
Well, exactly the reason that you mentioned is that it's not expected. I think that it's too often that we see the same people do the same things, and like, I don't necessarily want to say that it would be a form of typecasting, but I like that Karen is not maybe the obvious choice, and that she has done movies that are a little bit bigger and a little bit more broad, like a Jumanji, or a really exciting action thing like the Guardians of the Galaxy, or Doctor Who, and people have seen specific roles, and obviously some science fiction roles, but never in this like quiet version of a science fiction movie. And that was really cool for me.
Yeah, and I suppose similar with Aaron Paul, that's not quite his normal kind of character either. And anyone hasn't seen it, he pops up in the film as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron's cool. Like he came in, and I've known him for years now, but like you said, this is not a usual role for an Aaron Paul type of film. And so for him to come in and immediately just get the tone and the dialogue. I mean, both him and Karen had seen my previous films, so that made it a little easier, but it's not necessarily the comfort zone you would imagine Aaron Paul would like to live in, but he just loved it. He just like went for it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think the title itself actually is quite clever, because like, duel, obviously like two of, but also it sounds like duel as in like, a fight, which is obviously both of those play a part in the film. So like when you were like, the writing and directing standpoint, were you kind of thinking or prioritizing more about the fact that Sarah had to live with this other version of herself, or the fact there'd be a fight coming? Like what was the kind of the more important element in your mind?
Even though the movie is described as this like fight to the death thing, I felt like that was the obvious sort of path to get people in, but the movie's more about discovering who you are, and like taking life and saying, I'm going to make my own choices, I'm going to try to better myself, and less about the fighting of it all. Like obviously there's fighting in the movie, and then there's training, and there's conversations about death and all of this and life, but at the end of the day, it's more about the people than the act.
Yeah, I think the fact that Sarah's double wasn't necessarily just like a one note like evil clone, like she was very complex as a character in her own right, which again on your part, it's a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that was important too. And I feel like Karen and I had many conversations about Sarah's double, and we never wanted her to feel, like you said, like a villain. She's her own person, and she may be different, and we may like Sarah more and relate to her more, but like it doesn't make Sarah's double a bad person. I think that she's just different.
And like for the eagle-eyed among like the viewers watching, you actually cameo in the film. I might not give away whereabouts you are, but like, did you, like when you were kind of writing the script and that scene, like did you intend to put yourself in the script at any point, or it just kind of come together?
No, I actually make two for eagle-eyed listeners. I make two cameos total. I'm in the drive-through scene. I was reading the lines to Karen, and then the sound people said that you're never going to get it to sound as real as you just did, so you may as well just use it. So we use my voice there too, but the cameo, the actual video cameo, was not on purpose. We shot in the country of Finland during COVID, and bringing other actors in was kind of not going to happen. It was too expensive and too hard to get people through the quarantine of it all. So we were stuck with the very limited resource of people living in Finland who are actors, and we didn't want the entire movie to have only Finnish accents. So we found an American actor who was going to be that character. And the day of the shoot, he had a sore throat. And when I found that out, I said, well, I guess I'm in the movie now, because I already in my head knew that I needed an English accent there, an American accent. And so by design, or not by design, I had to be in the movie. I'm glad that it didn't kill the movie. I'm glad that it's not like cringy, but I also never will ever do that again.
Yeah, it's one of those cameos where like you find out in hindsight, oh, that was the writer director. You know, that's a cool little. I mean,
I'm glad people
completely like fly on the wall.
Yeah, I'm not like a super recognizable person like it right now, which is good. So hopefully it doesn't distract too much. But for people who know me or follow like my Instagram or something, it'll be a fun little like, oh, there's that dork. And
I suppose overall, what do you want people to take away as a message from this film?
Well, I mean, I'm not one to tell people what to think and give them. I don't feel like it's a message movie or like I'm trying to teach any lessons. But maybe the big thing is other than just wanting them to enjoy the film and laugh and like feel something. I do think that we all are guilty of kind of falling out of step with who we want to be and maybe like sitting back and saying, well, this is enough. And I like that. I am trying to be better about like being active in who I am and who I want to be in life. And so just making sure, and not to be cheesy, just be yourself, like go after things that you want and don't just accept life for what it is, like make it the life you want it to be. Again, very cheesy answer, but it's the truth.
Absolutely. And I suppose like the last question to wrap this up, because I know we're short on time, but like what do you want to accomplish with the rest of 2022? Obviously you've got this film, but like what other goals or objectives do you have for yourself?
Great question. I would love to figure out and hopefully write the fourth feature. This is my third one, Duel. And but outside of movies, I train jiu-jitsu. I've been doing that for 9 years now, and it's my favorite thing in the world. And so I would love to, before I get my black belt, maybe do one more competition and do a little bit better this time at Worlds. I compete at Worlds every year. And so I would love to compete at brown belt one more time and maybe podium. I haven't podium since I was a purple belt in 2018. So very specific goal, but I would love to do well in jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely. Well, obviously best of luck with that and with the film and obviously, wider things. So thanks again for taking the time, Riley. Take care and stay safe.
This was so much fun. Thank you so much for having me again.